Hey Taurus, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your September 2015 forecast for the month. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing and liking and sharing these videos. I also wanted to thank you for choosing me to read for you. And I appreciate your patience with me in August, as I was not in Los Angeles. I was in New York, New Jersey, and Las Vegas. So I appreciate you working around the time schedule and different time zones I was in. But let's get to September, because I'm calling it dynamic because I'm trying to remain positive, and there's a lot of energy going on in September. We have a Mercury retrograde sandwiched in between two eclipses. But let's start the month. On the 6th of September, Venus will go direct in Leo again at 14 degrees, and she's going to remain there through the 8th of October. So she has been in your 4th house of home for 4 months. Not too bad. I'm sure a lot of you Taurians are either redecorating, using a lot of sensual fabrics, expanding some kind of energy in the home, or using the environment as your touchstone, your saving grace. That's a word that just came to me, the saving grace. Also, the relationship with your mother is going smoothly, or there's a connection, a deep level connection, the foundation with the mother role, and especially with Venus direct. And like I said, she'll remain direct through the 8th of October, so still use her to your benefit in the home environment. The 4th house is the deepest house. This could also apply to the environment where you came from. It's not a great month for travel, though, and we'll get to why shortly. We do have our first eclipse on the 13th of September. It's the new moon partial solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Virgo. So this affects your 5th house of true love, romance, and children, and creative endeavors for you entrepreneurial energy people out there. So the new moon is not just the typical new moon where you set your intentions. You can, but there's eclipse energy, so it's much stronger, and it's a portal energy. It's the relationship between the sun, the earth, and the moon, and there's a clear portal path when the eclipse happens. In the 5th house, this could be the beginnings of a new romance or a new connection to your love, but not particularly just on that day. With eclipses, they last 6 months. There's an accumulative energy that happens with them. So I feel like this could be the initial stages of something happening in the romance sector for you, Taurus. Also, for those of you who are trying to conceive and wanting to start families, this is an amazing energy on that day, particularly for pregnancy and becoming pregnant if you're fertile, because eclipses can pick up a seed of intention and boom, bring it somewhere, and it's in the 5th house of children and fertility and creativity. So that could be something special for those of you who are planning. On the 17th, there are a few things happening I wanted to discuss, because that's the day Mercury retrogrades at 15 degrees of Libra in your 6th house of health. So having a Mercury retrograde, communication planet, in the 6th house of daily work, routine, and health regimens, you really want to watch the details of any messages you're receiving from doctors or Eastern or Western medicine practitioners getting back to you about any results. You want to go over them with a fine-tooth comb. You want second opinions and third opinions. You also want to watch the communication in the work sector. The 6th house is not necessarily the career, but it could be the daily structure of the hours within your day, how you're spending them. And you could find that the communication style is misconstrued, or messages aren't being received the way they should be. You didn't get emails, you didn't get the message, you didn't get that memo. So just really fine-tooth comb, watch what you're saying and how you're saying it in the workplace as well, and to whom you're saying it. On the 17th as well, Jupiter, stationed in Virgo in this 5th house of children. A lot of Taurians will be becoming pregnant in this next 13 months or year, because Jupiter is expanding your 5th house. If this is on your natal chart, your 5th house, please watch your ascendant sign for these forecasts. This is really accurate for the rising signs. But this is a solar scope. The Jupiter is expanding the 5th house of children, of fertility, of creativity. But there's an opposition on the 17th between Jupiter in this 5th house and Neptune in Pisces in your 11th house of friends and social clubs and groups and sectors, clubs and groups and affiliates in that sector. So you could find that as much as Jupiter wants you to expand your fun, the 5th house of fun, and expand these groups, the 11th house is, Neptune is making a little bit of a delusional judgment call here. It's delusions of grandeur which could be happening. You might not really want to join this club after you join it if you make a rash decision around the 17th. It feels like it could be, you're not seeing things as clearly as you could, and Jupiter's giving you a lot of optimism and a lot of faith in the 5th house, but Neptune is, you're not seeing some of these relationships with your friends as clearly as you should right now, and or with the clubs and groups that you're thinking you'd like to join. So I wouldn't really make a lot of judgment calls or decisions around that time, because it might just work against you, and you might just find yourself removing yourself from that club as soon as you can, as soon as Neptune takes off his glasses. Again, on the 17th, Saturn makes his transit, where he's been stationed in Scorpio for 2.5 years. He enters Sagittarius. This is your 8th house of sex, of death. It's a very profound house. It's shared resources, it's wills, inheritances, estates, investments, stocks, all things shared resources. Saturn is a control, is restriction, is lessons learned. In the 8th house, you really want to watch who you're sharing your money with, what you're spending your money on, if it's not solely used for the self, which would be the 2nd house of your possessions. This is in regards to other people's money and your money mixed with other people. And Saturn wants you to learn this lesson. Saturn's going to restrict how much you're willing to give out to others, and maybe vice versa, because it's supposed to be a lesson that's learned so strongly and deeply rooted and focused on. That's what Saturn is for these 2.5 years, because he won't reach the sector again for another 30 years. So he's really helping you establish roots at this time. And for those of you who have dealt with death and someone passing, you'll be dealing with a will and inheritance with Saturn in the 8th house. And you could be the executor, or you could be someone who is in control or in charge of the divvying of the shared resources. And Saturn will remain in Sagittarius through the end, the very last day, the 31st of December of 2017. Now on the 23rd, the Sun enters Libra in your 6th house of health, replenishing where Mercury's retrograding, which is good because the Sun is the life force, and where his energy goes, we will follow. So the Sun in the 6th house is a great time for new health regimens, for the diet, for feeling good about how you're spending your hours. And Mercury will have drained you a little bit there, so the Sun is there to replenish you through October 21st or 22nd of next month. On the 24th, Mars enters Virgo in this 5th house of children, creative endeavors, where he'll be conjunct Jupiter at this time. So there is an expansion with Jupiter and a drive with Mars in the 5th house. Definitely huge for those Taurians wanting to become parents and wanting to become pregnant. But for those of you who are over that or not in that age range anymore, this is really about independent, expansive, creative energy. It's about becoming your own entrepreneurial, creative spirit, expanding the luck, expanding your romance, having drive and passion, which is Mars, in the 5th house of true love and romance. Beautiful placement because Mars will be there for 50 days, so take advantage of that. Now, for those of you who aren't in relationships, Mars is men, and Mars can bring on sexual physicality and attraction just as easily as Venus could bring in attraction, and Mars can make it even quicker because he's very speedy. He expedites things. In the 5th house of dating, you could easily find yourself meeting someone from the 24th for 2 months on. And with Jupiter in your 5th house, there's not a lot of Taurians who won't be linked up within the year's time, especially if Taurus is your rising sign, so please watch your ascendant as well. On the 27th, the full moon total lunar eclipse occurs at 4 degrees of Aries. The full moon bringing the ending, the full culmination of the lunar cycle in a 12th house for you. Aries is the sign before you, the 12th house. This is a full ending for you, Taurus, because the full moon is the ending alone, but to have an eclipse in the 12th house, the last sign before the first house, and the whole astrological wheel starts again, all the zodiac begins. This is a very complete ending. This could be an ending from at least 18 months ago or longer, but this is the house of rest, the 12th house of closure and endings. So this full moon will bring an awareness to you that something has finally reached its end, and you can feel confident peacefully, 12th house, peacefully at rest, 12th house, with this endeavor closing. This could pertain to all of you in so many different ways, but I'd like to use the Alchemical deck, again, by Robert M. Place. I do have so many decks that I bought from New Orleans, which I'm still blessing and using my crystals on right now. But this deck and I, man, he just popped right out of me, and I pulled it like it was second nature, so I just wanted to use him again in the forecast. Let's see what's going on for Taurus for September 2015. And if you'd like to read with me, I'm at audreyalison.com. I do this as a full-time profession all through the week. You can reach me there and book your appointment, and I will get back to you with some times. I am not available for same-day readings, and it's usually a week out for me because my schedule is very hectic at this time thanks to the beautiful clients I have. But let's get to it. Taurus. September. The Ace of Coins, a new source of health or wealth. It also is indicative of the first day of spring, March 21st. That might be significant to some of you, but that's also when your birthday, well, Taurus, I think you end then. Oh, no, that's the beginning of your birthday. So March 20th, March 21. Okay, let's see what this says, but it's about new source of health or wealth. Lady of Cups, using your own intuition, guidance, perfect alignment, downloading, channeling, meditation, psychic ability, awareness, full moon, eclipse energy. The Two of Wands, the Lovers, Mercury, and Venus down here. Venus going direct this month, Mercury going retrograde this month. The dichotomy of the two lovers intertwined. Really positive card for people wanting to start relationships. People already in relationships, this could be heightened sexual activity and connecting on a physical level, passion. The Ten of Coins, the focus on your finances, maybe even more so than normal and maybe to the detriment. See how he's blinded by coins? You don't want to let money get you too focused. I mean, I know we have bills to pay, but you don't want to obsess about what it is you do not have. You will only attract more of that. If you find yourself complaining and stressing about how much money you don't have, that's exactly what you're going to continue having. But the Ten of Coins is a positive coin card. It's the highest without getting into the suits, without getting into the people. Exactly. Okay, Five of Coins, what you are lacking financially. That's exactly what I was just saying about the Ten of Coins. Don't worry about what you're missing. See how this person's walking by this beautiful pasture? He's missing what he actually has because he's looking and focused on what he doesn't have. You have a few more cards as the outcome. My favorite card visually, the Six of Swords, going with the flow and not against it, the higher power, being led, the loving breeze. It indicates foreign travel, but this is not the month for it. For those of you who can't avoid it for work or trips that have already been planned, go with the flow of any kind of weird energy and not against it, because you can only do so much in between two eclipses and a retrograde if you're choosing to travel outside of the country. And the final card is the Ace of Swords. Positive thinking, good intentions, success, victory. It's really about the mental thoughts. And it has a lot to do with what I was talking about here, about your coin cards. And since you're an earth sign, Taurus, I know that you focus a lot on the tangible, the earthly, what you can hold in your hand. Not to say Taurians aren't spiritual, of course. I mean, everyone is not the same. You're really uniquely you, composed of your natal astrological chart. But your focus and your positive thinking is very important regarding your earnings right now. And that came up, these two, I'm sorry, what the hell am I doing? These two came up after this card, where I started to channel about these two definitions. Because this card, Ten of Coins, is actually a very positive coin card, but I got this message of you really focusing maybe too much on the money. Now, you have a new source of health and wealth coming in. So with this Ace of Coins and this Ace of Swords, positive thinking leads to the positive coin. You have to hold that within you. And be still. Try meditative energies and practices. The total lunar eclipse is in your 12th house. This is 12th house of spirituality, connecting, quiet, rest, reflection, meditation, not being outward too much, but honing it in. And you have water on these two cards, which I feel might need to connect you to the beach and to the ocean herself and salt water. Thank you, Taurus. Since you're so made of earth, you might need to get some more salt water in your life, on the real, on the regular. Okay, I appreciate you watching me. Have a beautiful month, and I will see you in October. Bye.